Good afternoon. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, this Thursday, the 22nd of April, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. We're in a little bit of a weird period right now. There's not a whole lot happening in the news. We've got some sort of submarine that's taking up most of the news just off the shore of Newfoundland and New England. Heart goes out to the families, but I mean, the submarine probably just ruptured and burst open, and those kinds of pressure underneath the ocean, it's not, the chances of survival is very, very slim, what I would think. Of course, I haven't heard any news yet. I just heard they found debris. Anyway, so that's a sad story. That's been the center of the attraction in the news today. But there's a lot of other things going on. China right now is infuriated by things that Biden said about calling Xi a dictator. Things are not going good in the world. There's so many problems right now. Unresolved problems that haven't really totally manifested themselves yet. Specifically, the Fed, they went too far. This tightening cycle that they've been through, one of the quickest tightening cycles in the history of the Fed. And what tightening basically means is, it's kind of like if a family, say somebody in the family kept the finances, and they come in one day and they said, that's it, we're not spending any more money. We're not buying nothing. We got to balance our budget. We got to do this. We got to do that. And all of a sudden you find yourself eating nothing but spaghetti every night. This is what we're coming down to. And all this is going to do, because we're in a debt-based system right now that requires new debt to be extended in order to keep the system running, all this is going to do is start to shut the system down. Then they're going to realize their mistake. So what they've done is they're creating a liquidity crisis within the top end of the financial system that's going to spin out of control, and everybody is going to be affected by it. In other words, they're creating another depression, is what they're creating. And by the time they stop and realize what they've done, see, this is the way with government. They never react ahead of time. They only try to fix a problem when the problem manifests itself. And by that time, it's too late. So we're headed head first into that. We got that to look forward to. And then we've got this war going on over in Ukraine, which a lot of people out there right now, they don't think this really affects them. But they don't realize how dangerous this is. New weapon systems are being developed behind closed doors. I don't know exactly what they are, but I mean, I think that some of these weapon systems that are being developed in secret are things that are like right out of Star Trek. I remember they used to ride through the to go where no man has gone before, and then they would say, the Captain Kirk would say, fire the pulsar beam or whatever, I forget fire the phasers, that was it, phasers, or fire the neutron cannon or whatever, These weapons that they're developing right now, like, are of course you're not going to know what they are. Because they have to keep these weapon systems secret. I don't know what they are. You don't know what they are. But behind my mind, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, they probably got weapon systems that are so futuristic by now, because the technology ultimately for nuclear weapons goes back to 1940s. The nuclear weapons. It's very old technology. So what are they working on now? I can only surmise. I can only think of the space age stuff that they might have. Who knows? Maybe antimatter weapons, or neutron weapons or some type of magical lasers or stuff like that, or weapons that are like telephone poles made of tungsten that fall from space and stuff like that. Amazing new weaponry they have. But with these new weapons causes more devastation if war comes. We've advanced to a society now where we cannot afford to go to war anymore with these new weapon systems. It could be annihilation for mankind, quite seriously. But we haven't. We've advanced with the weapons, but we haven't advanced with our intelligence not to use them. At the same time, we've got AI coming along and emerging rather rapidly. We've got enormous weather problems on the Earth. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm going to tell you, I've noticed. You know, we used to get the hot weather, the really hot stuff. We used to get it late in the summer. Late August was the time, or mid-August. Used to be was the time when we get the real heat spells. Now it seems like we get them in June or early June. And then it evens out later in the summer. You say, well, this is an early year. Well, something's changed on the Earth. Something has changed. And we never used to get these polar vortexes in the winter. Now we get these polar vortexes. What in the hell's a polar vortex? And we get these new weird storms and stuff like we've never had before. And it seems like these El Niños and El Niña and whatever they call it, you know, the warming of the Pacific or whatever. It seems like that's a constant phenomenon now. And they used to only happen once every so often. And it wasn't severe like it is now. And hurricane seasons, we're just beginning a hurricane season. Very early for hurricanes. And already we got 2 developing down there. I was just on to the National Hurricane Center watching them. One's moving and heading up into the Gulf of Mexico right now. You know, and then we got another one developing just behind it, which is going to go up the Atlantic seaboard in a few more days. So we got 2 this early in the year. So anybody that denies that there's some sort of... Now, I'm not talking about global warming right now. What I'm talking about is climate change. Anybody that's a climate change denier, the climate is changing. Definitely changing. I can see the changes to the climate, and I can see these strange weather events happening. But that's not all. You know, we got diseases coming along that like we've never seen before. It just seems like we're in a period in time right now what I'd refer to as troubled times or and a lot of people, you know, they're not really paying attention to all of this kind of stuff. But it might be to their own demise. If something, because it has that feeling like we're on the edge of a precipice of something really nasty. And you guys must have that feeling that we're on a precipice right now, and things are really quiet today, but everything could change very soon. So the big story today is the submarine. But I mean, there's another thing. People's attention span is so short right now. Yes, they're paying attention to the sub, but what'll it be tomorrow? It could be some new disaster that comes out of nowhere. We get all these black swans now. I'm here to keep my eye open for you guys. I'm watching the news steady every day. I put a lot of time into it to watch for you guys and try to give you guys my opinion. And, I mean, there's not many news channels out there that actually try to give you their opinion on what's going on now. They look to others for their opinion. They don't sit down and analyze the information and give you the opinion according to themselves. They follow others' opinion on things. And of course, there is some stories out there right now that I don't touch with a 10-foot pole. And most of the stories I don't touch on this channel are stories that are related to this division that's occurred now in politics in the United States of America. And my opinion on this, it is totally divisive, totally out of control, and I'm absolutely stunned and amazed by it. And I sit back every day and I watch what's happening in politics in the United States right now, and I'm just like shaking my head back and forth, and I'm saying, oh my God, what in the hell are they thinking? What in the hell's wrong with them all? On both sides. Has having COVID made them nuts? Are they totally insane? Why can't we have things like we used to have it, where there was some sort of at least bipartisan support in politics, and they used to get along? Now they're just like a bunch of little school kids having a food fight or something. Are they stupid or what? I don't know. I mean, it's just beyond bizarre. You know, and it infuriates me. Because I'm going to tell you, there's enemies at the gate. And the enemies are watching what's going on. And they're rubbing their hands together. They're salivating at the mouth. They're praying for the demise of America. So that they can become the great ones. And they can become the, what's the word I'm looking for? So that they can make their currency and have that thing of the world reserve, and they can have all of the good stuff that goes along with it. In other words, you can print all kinds of money, and it just, and people accept it, and it's just printed hot off the press. And so the right to counterfeit money, legally counterfeit money, is the biggest, most powerful thing out there. And, you know, the world is in trade wars right now. And trade wars is monetary wars, and it's the death of currency. It's the death of the money, too, on top of everything else we, the people, are having to go through. And we're caught in the middle. We're caught in the middle of all their shenanigans. And they take advantage of us left and right. They take advantage of the people's good nature. The people, you know, they're the salt of the earth. They just want to raise their families. They just want to make enough money to be able to survive. But no. These politicians and stuff, they don't know where to stop and where to draw the line. And they just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. They keep prodding us like we're a bunch of cattle. You'll get that feeling anytime you want to go, say, to the airport or something. And they got all these lanes where it's just like the gates on a farm. You know how they herd the cattle in through these gates and stuff? It's the same way. Go to any airport and you'll see they herd you. There's no humanity there anymore. You're just a number. You're not even a name anymore. You're just a number. And it's a wonder they don't come up, what they're not going to come up with next. Maybe they'll want to brand us. You know, we have a big hot iron on a fire. Okay, we're going to put the like they used to do to cattle. You know, the Bar QS Ranch, stamp it on the back of their arse. You know, and the smoke comes up and the cow goes. Burr! Maybe they'll want to do that to all of us, but maybe they'll do it a little bit different. Maybe they'll put some sort of a, gosh knows, mark on us or something. What do they think? They think we're all a bunch of dummies. That's what they think. And the people are. People are. People are willing. They follow in line. They are so sheep-like that in the end, that what's going to end up happening is they're going to keep hurting you and hurting you until finally the bus goes off of the cliff. And that's what I got in the picture behind me. This is what happens when they follow through to their ultimate conclusion of where they're going. Because it's basically the same thing that happens like in a family, you know. Say a father and a mother are no good at raising kids. And say they have 3 kids. Or 4 kids. You know, a small family and stuff. But let's just say that the kids run the house. Well, this is like the politicians out there. They're running the house. And what happens is they run the house into the ground until finally the house burns down. And the father says, they burnt my house down. Well, yeah, because what happened is they were running amok. And this house, this earth we live on, is like the house. And the matches are like this thing behind my head. That's the matches. And they're being allowed now to have and play with these matches. And make no mistake about it, ultimately, if they follow through on where they're going, projected, if you project into the future a couple years from here, if something doesn't happen, if something doesn't break, oh my lands, we're in big trouble. I had to have this little rant this afternoon because I can just see the way this system is going. I could see the way this system was going years ago when I first started doing my shows. And yes, it is taking a bit longer than I thought to get to where it's going. But it's going to rant and ruin. And guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned because there's going to be some major news coming up very soon, I think. And I'm here to cover it for you guys. So you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.